Hey, how's my sounds? Can you hear me? I realized no, I actually knew. My mic was on, so I was like, let me be quiet as I light this. Hello, Santo. Hey. I know you're like, what? Thursday? You're right. Time is an illusion. It's Sheba on Thursday. Sheba Thursday. Sounds good. I love it. Perfect. Hi. Yeah, hey. How you guys doing? Uh One great thing about being such a highly sensitive being is that drugs like like have uh like I need less of it to experience the experience. Anyway, that's I'll just say we did a microdose hours ago. Hours ago. And it felt like a kind of I feel like I got all of the knowledge from the collective. Got some perspective on everything that's been going on. Man, anyway, very sensitive. Uh that Billy was saying to me recently the past couple of days. Maybe yesterday, was it yesterday? Maybe the day before yesterday. I was sobbing. I just and so I feel like that's the collective. We're going through it, guys. That must be what that is. I'm someone who I think is supposed to express what the collective, for whatever reason, is unable to fully express. So I've been weeping and sobbing. So sounds like we've got some grief and pain and shame to work through, guys. Huh? Is that what's happening, gals? Days. Yeah. Um I was feeling the grief very strongly, and um but I was also, or at least now I'm also thinking about how oh, I'm so lucky that I have the space and support, the nurturing fertile environment to be able to express in all the ways. It's grieve. I feel Billy was, you know, around in the house, sometimes next to me, and I was like, oh, I don't want to burden him with this. I'm trying to just I know I just gotta feel it, but I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's amazing to have, a person who's just any being who's able to just kind of be with you through that without becoming overwhelmed by it. So amazing. So lucky. We went to see Beetlejuice, the musical, yesterday. It's great. I had recently seen Beetlejuice, the, what do you call it? Movie, for the first time. I think I like the musical better. It's had some time to cook. It has some time to kind of be okay, what did we love about the movie? What have we learned about ourselves and the world and blah blah blah? How are we gonna, improve on the musical version of it? And I think they did a great job. I thought it was funny. I thought it was still yes. Humans are really good at what do they do? At ignoring, you know, anything, you know, out of the ordinary, anything strange. They're good at ignoring also like their feelings, like the truth. Mm. Yeah. Anyway, what did I call this one? Okay, so performance anxiety. What do you guys feel when that comes to mind? What do you feel when you hear performance anxiety? Where do you feel it, maybe, rather than what? Where do you feel when I say performance anxiety? Hmm. Just curious. I know it'll take a second, but anyway, I was thinking lots of things. First of all, actually, quick tangent before we dive in. Okay. See my nails? Oh, look it. Like, stop. Okay. You want to hear the story, obviously. Okay. These are exploited natural resource nails. Oh, what? Yes. Like, kind of. Okay, so let's take you through. Okay, we've got um what do I want to start with? Okay, we've got water, of course, which can be either can't even really see it. Doesn't really do it justice with this lighting, even though this is a great camera. You'll have to see it in person. It's kind of like me, more of an experience. It's tough to describe. Really got a IRL kind of thing, but still pretty good show. Okay, anyway, there's water. We got our gold, of course. We got raw diamond. It's a nice one too. This one, coltan. Oof, if you feel it, it's like textured and matte. Um, and this is cobalt. Ooh, which is also, look at this stone I have, and like that's pretty damn good. Like, oh my god, my nail woman is so amazing. Lily, stop it, girl. Hold on, look at this. Look at, oh, she is just a hand model. Stop it. What on earth? What just like? Let's see. It's hard, but trust me, it's impeccable. Yeah. Okay. Anywho, you're welcome for that tangent. I know you were wondering what's with the nails this time, Sheebs. Um. So yeah, performance anxiety. What I actually called this was performance shame. Okay, this shame or anxiety we feel around people thinking we are performing, or even us if we're the people, like this shame about performing. We have this like kind of idea, I feel like we want to be real rather than performing, like it's fake and false and bad, to perform. I was thinking, this one time back in the day, uh, not that far back in the day, maybe a couple of years ago, I was talking with my therapist in therapy, and like something came up about like this anxiety about like wanting to be like judged well, wanting to be assessed well. And my therapist kind of asked if I was performing being a good therapy client. And I started to cry. I was like, am I only performing healing so that I can like be validated by an authority figure? Because I know I'm supposed to go to therapy and be healed and like talk through my, and like I'm trying to perform for this person I'm paying um to show that like I'm healing. Am I doing that? Am I trying to reap the benefits of being perceived as someone who's done the work in therapy rather than someone who actually like wants the results of doing the work in therapy? I don't know. Yeah. Did I want like kind of the glory that comes from a good performance of the story? Let me explain. Okay, so Billy had mentioned like recently he like saw himself on a video, and he was like whatever, it somehow came up like this anxiety about um performing, like being perceived as a performer, as doing a performance. Let me know if I'm characterizing this right, but um I know that like I've certainly heard from Billy and myself, I've felt, you know, like anxiety over being like a chameleon, you know, like able to perform, like put on the right performance for whatever like situation you're in, being ashamed kind of that you're doing that, that you're not kind of just being, you know, not performing. I'm not like trying to keep myself safe or to be accepted by whoever I'm, you know, performing for. I don't know. I think we're taught to, yeah, like be afraid of being like a shapeshifter or like two-faced, you know, but like I've been thinking, what if we think about it like water? May have said this on another um Shiva Sunday, but like, you know, we're taught to have this shame over being a kind of performer, being like inconsistent, being like, you know, but like, what if it's like a life-saving skill and like something we should be very like proud of? It's a superpower, you know? Water, come on, changes forms depending on the environment. The ability to do that saves lives. I'll tell you what I mean. Life depends on water's ability to change form. Whoop! Sorry, y'all. Giving you life. Anyway, okay, so I wrote down, if I'm dehydrated and you put me in a steam room, it's not the form I need to survive. Like, the water in steam is not going to make me feel good. I'm going to pass out, most likely. If I need an organ transplant and they send it over in a cooler of water rather than ice, it's not the form I needed in to survive. You get me? So like, no use in being ashamed of, like, no sense actually in being ashamed of like water. The thing that's like, its power is in its ability to like change form depending on what the environment is. I don't know. Seems like a valuable resource to harness. Oh shit. Y'all, hold up. not me interpreting the signs, the language of the universe through, just playing. What? Crazy. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I have this over here, so maybe I can't see the chat. Love it. Thank you. Got a good LOL. Oh, thank you, BB. Oh, I made it even. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm like judging my notes and like the note-taking process, and I'm like, this was just me rambling all day and thinking, and like, actually, who cares? Maybe I'm not supposed to judge what came through. So, we're expected to not only perform, but to perform well. Yeah. Yeah, we have this anxiety about performing, but like, I grew up being expected because of like different physical and like, emotional tactics. I grew up performing obedience and respectability in order to receive more favorable treatment. Like with my parents, like, of course, we all know, like, being like a good kid, being like not wanting to draw attention to yourself, like wanting people to judge your performance well so that you could, like, stay safe, feel safe. I don't know, I grew up and I realized I could still receive favorable treatment even while choosing different performances, and that people would let me get away with different performances, and they would reward different performances than I used to perform. I will not apologize for using the word so much. I wonder if I like, oh my gosh, let me like, does perform like mean anything? Perform? I know language is like that. Sometimes the universe works like that. Hold up, let's see. Perform. I spelled it wrong. I spelled perform. Not now, thank you. Let me see. Okay, let me give you what do you want? Let me give you a Sheba small. Can you see it? Oh, okay, let me put this over here. Whoop. I know. Also, what is that thing with like a knife? Okay. No, it's probably nothing. Oh, where'd it go? Huh. Okay. This bad boy. Here we go. Can you see? Perform. I'm going to make this even larger for you, hoes. Hold on. Oh, wow. Okay. Carry out, accomplish, or fulfill an action, task, or function. Present to an audience. Let me see more about it, because I want to see some etymology. Okay. Anglo, Norman, French. From through to completion, and furnish to provide. I don't know. I don't know. I thought there was gonna be more to that, if I'm honest. But, tell me if you're like, oh, yes. What about, I don't know. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Well, that's a little strange. Don't know what I've done, but it's okay. Just gonna pull this bad boy over and just move this slightly. And she's back. Okay, so Anyway, all this to say, admit it, we love a performance. Us humans, we love a performance. Oh my God, we're actually about to see we pay people very well for performing. Some of our highest rewarded, regarded, the people we have the most like grace for, who we admire, are literal performers. I bet if you guys like thought about like some of your like people you would quote or people you kind of draw strength from or kind of like whatever, probably a performer, right? Maybe some of you guys are like, you know, I mean, even if you're like Martin Luther King, he's also performing, you know, he sees what people like want, like, okay, preacher, like they like this certain image. Performing. We love a performance. And I think we all spend a lot of time fearing that we're not performing well enough, that people will not judge our performance sufficient, you know, and that they're gonna like punish us in some way, or we're gonna feel unsafe because of yeah, because we're not like performing well. So yeah, anyway, I think it makes sense. I think a more generative story for me is certainly to like embrace my natural ability to perform. Like, why am I going to judge the thing that like I don't even realize I'm doing half the time? It's so second nature. Maybe it's first nature to like this desire to perform. Yeah, maybe it's like a strength. Maybe it's a reflex. Maybe it's like really something that's like supposed to, it's an evolutionary, what if it's an evolutionary strength trait? It's a thing that like, you know, survival of the fittest kind of a thing. Huh? Anyway, I think you should embrace your natural ability to perform as something like beautiful and interesting, and then interrogate when and why you're doing a particular performance. Like, I think we're taught to kind of fear the idea, like, have this anxiety and shame and fear around like performing or being found out that we're performing, but like, I don't know. We also get like offended when people aren't performing well for us, you know, personally. We're like, why is that person acting like that? Why is that person acting crazy? Their performance is insufficient. You think they should be doing a different type of performance for you. And you feel so entitled to that performance. You so want that performance that you're like, what the hell? I'm annoyed that you're not performing. Interesting. Yes, that makes so much sense. Perfect. Yes, great, because I definitely know what I was saying, and I'm not performing being a competent, all wise, all knowing, knowing nothing sage. I love to perform. I love to, like, I know that people love a performance. And so I, like, kind of relish in, like, pleasing you guys. Y'all love to be delighted. So, like, it's okay. Anyway, yeah. I think sitting with like, what do you get out of that particular performance? And like, could you obtain a better result with a more intentional or discerning performance, or the same performance but to a different audience? Yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been toying with recently. Um I also and that got also got me thinking. Um Appearances versus like substance. And like Billy will also remember this. Maybe like 3 years ago. Um Actually, when even before COVID, um, I was in this workout group that like met at like 5 a.m. and like my mom was in it. It was my mom's workout group. Um, KJ Fit, KJ Total Fit. um, yeah, and so like my mom get up 5 a.m. We would go work out. COVID hits, everything goes onto Zoom, and we still, we're meeting like every like it's like maybe 3 days a week, 5 a.m. blah blah blah. Okay, by the end of maybe it's probably like 21, y'all. 2021, I was definitely in the house still. Oh yeah, for a significant amount of time. I would pay monthly for this Zoom, workout class, group workout class that would meet 5:30 a.m. And I realized I could just like sign in at 5:30, turn off my camera, and just like lay down and not have to work out. Because like when your camera's on, Kim, the trainer, she's like, raise your knees, wake up. What are you doing? Why are you even here if you're not gonna like work hard, push yourself? I'm like, Mama, in the best of circumstances, I don't take well to someone telling me what to do in a mean like tone, in an ungracious tone. I'm like, oh, what? Sorry. Whoa, who are you talking to? So to avoid that, I would wake up at 5:30 a.m., turn off the camera, and like browse my phone or like lay down or sleep. Because only sometimes would she be like, she would be like, okay, everyone like pick an exercise and the whole group's gonna do it. And so like I wouldn't have to, like a lot of the times I would just, but like, what? And it wasn't until I like told someone else, told several other people that that's what I was doing. They were like, you're paying every month for that? To pretend to work out? That's true. That was a weird choice, I realized when someone reflected it back to me. I was like, huh, why am I doing that? Actually, I'm literally performing being someone who works out at 5 a.m., even though I'm actually not. I'm someone who like resents the idea, honestly, of it. But I still want to be like credited with it, you know? And I'm lucky that like my vessel kind of tricks people. People buy the performance. Like if I didn't tell them that I wasn't working out and my camera was off, they wouldn't know. So maybe on some level I wanted to be found out. Because I'm just like, I do this thing. Is that weird? And it's helpful for people to be like, yeah, that is kind of strange. Why are you doing that, Sheeps? Ah. But I was like, okay, I'm someone who I wanted to, I enjoyed being in this group, doing a thing with this group of people, still connected by, you know, Zoom. I liked like hanging out with my mom every morning, sort of, for a little bit. Um, and so I literally like I was paying to kind of hang out um with these people, and I wanted to support, you know, Kim, someone I love and I hope does well, and I'm like, oh, I it's just funny. Um and I think a very beautiful, loving act of devotion that I'm like, yo, I don't even, I know we're all supposed to be here just to like work out and for our personal fitness, but I don't really need it. But I just want to hang out. I'm just here for the party. I just want to hang out. But like, it is a little early, so I am going to close my eyes, and I would like you to not yell at me about it. Hmm. It's funny though. People always think that like, um, you know, I like I must work out all the time, and or that like I like eat healthy. I've had like a lot of people, a lot of lovers say that like, you know, I like look and like taste, sorry, healthy. Like I, many people are like, are you a vegetarian? No, you know me. No, unfortunately. I wish. I wish. I don't know why. I've been told there's more value for that. Because the results are kind of the same. You know, for whatever reason, I get the glory without the story. But I feel like us humans, we love the story. You love the performance. You love the performance of like someone like working out every day, having this discipline and getting these results. And like, you know, I realized I'm doing that for y'all. Like, because I love you. And I know that it delights you to think of that. But like, no, I don't need all that. Actually, I'm honest. Oh, even with the braids, you know, these are faux locks, right? I realize everyone has a lot of people have like a very, you know, they see me and like put a very positive kind of lens on like my locks. They have this idea. They're like, oh, maybe like sort of like a like discipline, you know, and like kind of some sort of a like a connection to the blood, which I do have, of course. But also, I just like recognize that people like love the look, you know. And like, yeah, you guys, it's like you love the performance. But you see how you guys add like this story to like me, who's just like, you know, I love how it looks, and like I'm not trying to like do all the, you know, work, whatever, of getting the glory. I'm trying to get the glory without the story. And I love that I live in a um reality in which I can get the glory without the story. Like, hell yeah. Great. No harm, no foul. Okay, let me see what I say. I wanted the glory without the story, and I saw that for whatever reason, people believe and respect the glory, like, even though I only did the cliff notes of the actual story, just so I could look like I had done the work of writing, you know, the story or whatever. I don't know if that, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I was like, oh, I can get away with the cliff notes. Great. I can get the performance is enough. Great. Okay. Easy. Um yeah, cuz I feel like people love to know that someone like worked hard and like achieved it after a struggle. But I think we value the performance of substance over like the reality of it. Like, I don't think you guys will care that much that like there's faux locks. Or like I'm very intentional kind of about like, you know, I want to delight you guys. I take note of what people like are delighted by in general. I try to, you know, incorporate that for you hoes. You're welcome. Just trying to delight you guys. Why should I feel shame about that? That's how I've kept myself safe, you know? And I bet you guys have done that too. I bet you guys have learned, like, the better you perform, the better treatment you have. I don't know. Yeah, but I do want to be rather than to seem. So I was like, do I want to seem like someone who works out at 5:30 a.m. or am I okay with being someone who doesn't work out at 5:30 a.m.? And I was like, yeah. Actually, I'm okay with that. It is a financially sound decision to not play this performance anymore. And you know, a spiritually like kind of sound decision to be like, wait, why am I doing this performance? Is there another way for me to like get whatever benefit I was previously getting out of doing this performance? Can I get that another way? And I could. I don't know. I like stopped doing that. You know, it was difficult being like, I'm sorry, I don't like breaking the news. I felt like to my trainer, like, I'm sorry, I just don't want to work out, like, period. But also certainly not at 5:30 a.m. And trust me, I didn't tell it to her like this. I probably told it to her in like a kind of cryptic series of vague texts about like, oh, maybe if you have a class that's like, you know, at like in the afternoon. And she's like, oh yeah, we do have those. I was like, oh, okay, actually, I guess I don't want to work out ever. That's what's going on. But I do want to like, I'll miss seeing you. It was tough. I was like, dang it. I like hanging out, but also, you know, I guess it's time. I guess it's time. Time to move on. I think that's a good skill too. Knowing when it's time to, auf Wiedersehen. Perhaps we'll meet again in another time, but yeah. Time to take this show on the road. Because it's a performance. Okay. Yeah, except that I'm someone who doesn't work out at 5:30 a.m. and doesn't need to work out at 5:30 a.m. in order to like be received in a way that I like. Okay, I wrote this down. This is what I like had started with. Then like my notes kind of like come together over the course of however many days or hours sometimes. Who knows how a collective works. Okay, so I think we also have this, what is this? Performance shame. The shame of like of like being taken advantage of. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. Let me see. I wrote down my dad. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So I told you guys that story about like one time, like my dad, you know, would give us like a couple of bucks to like buy a toy at like KB Toys or Toys R Us or KB Toys, yeah. Um, and like I am not like a knick-knack person. Like I don't need a whole bunch of things. I can really create like I can entertain myself like in my mind very easily, like without like needing like a toy or something. so, and so, like um this one time this kid who was like in front of me, like he needed like another buck or two for whatever he was like buying, whatever toy he was buying. And like I gave him the buck or two from the money I'd given, feeling so benevolent and like, this is what I'm like. It was like, a hidden camera show almost. When a child trying to buy a toy, like, is a little bit short, like, I'm like, perfect. Thank you, universe, for this moment. So I like give him. Anyway, my dad, who was like kind of standing a little bit away, he yells at me. He's like, yells at me for being like ungrateful and being like, did that kid even thank you for that? You're being, look, you being so flippant with like my money and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? Huh? Wait a minute. No, I'm doing a good thing. I'm positive of it. Anyway, I was like, what? What a crazy man. My dad was like, real autistic. So, real on the spectrum. But like very good at masking. So, quite confusing. Really. But now I'm very good, I feel like, at, I don't know, navigating through a world full of people who are maybe a little on the spectrum and also traumatized by this like traumatizing world. Yeah, I can navigate through it. I could drive for others. Ooh. There's so many good things here, you guys. Let me see. You know what? A performance I see us feeling compelled to do. I've received a lot from my family recently is this performance of empathy. We want people to believe that we are empathetic. And it sounds like, I feel so deeply for other people's, plight and the oppressed. I don't, of course, I don't want to join them, so there's nothing I can do. Like, y'all, that's not empathy. If you were really feeling like other people were feeling, you would be sobbing regularly and randomly, and you would be using your creative skills, all of your skills, to figure out how to do something about it, how to stop it, how to change it, how to improve it. But it's important for us to perform empathy without actually doing the substance of it. You want the glory without the story, It's like, how's it different than like when Republicans or any of these politicians, there's a like mass shooting or something, lots of things, and they get, what did they say? Thoughts and prayers. Our heart goes out to the thing. But I mean, performing empathy and powerlessness, just like that's what we're taught to kind of accept that from everyone, from the politicians to ourselves, to our families, to our friends, to everyone. We kind of like, to the celebrities, you know, we're like, as long as you just perform the empathy, I'm not really gonna hold you to the work, the substance, the results of empathy. You know, we'll take the performance. Oh, I just, oh, oh, I wish we could do it. Oh. Like, okay, all right, save it for the Oscars, DiCaprio. Okay, not buying it. My bad. No, not my bad, actually. Anyway, it's not empathy. An empathetic person would do more. Yeah, I'm someone who can just like spot a performance and like I'm not great at suspending my disbelief sometimes. And so like I will also let you know, like, I'm like, oh, I'm not buying it actually. I think you're performing. And that's okay. But I think, oh, your performance, it's like, it's not giving. I feel like we also have this like shame of being perceived as like lots of negative things. Being perceived as like judgmental. I'm realizing like being perceived as judgmental. We like are quick to be like, I don't judge anyone. I don't want to judge. Like, y'all, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why do we do that performance of being non-judgmental? All of us? Come on. Of even that being a value. I don't judge, or you can't judge. It's not your place to judge. Like, I don't know, y'all. What if that's all not true? What if the evidence of that is that one of our, as a society, our most revered, well paid for, most protected professions is literally judge? The like task of this person is to be judgmental. We like pay, we like pool all of our monies with taxes to pay these people to judge us. We love judging. We value being judgmental very highly, actually, in lots of different ways. Religion, I think we all know, like lots of religious spaces and doctrine kind of center around judgment. And you can interpret that how you will. Even like employability, we kind of are always like, that's not going to get you hired, or that's not professional. Yeah, I think religion, employability, comedy, a lot of judgment. I think we show what we value kind of by what we do often. Anyway, a lot of judgment. This person's bad. Religion. This person's unprofessional. Employability. What's the deal with these guys? Comedy. Literally. It's all about judging. Anyway, I've been playing with being, embracing being judgmental, Ooh, let me see what Phoebe says. I think that I can't judge was a valuable tool to stop white men, from judging and harshly penalizing things they couldn't understand. The restraint of judgment is also a virtue. I think that I can't judge was a valuable tool to stop white men from judging and harshly penalizing things they couldn't understand. Where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence that we have a we've been using a valuable tool to stop white men from judging and harshly penalizing things they don't understand. What are we talking about? What if we're taught to misuse our tools? Like, yes, we've got like a hammer, but what if we've been taught to like Hulk smash, everything? I don't know. But we're supposed to use like the other end of the hammer to like work, work the thing out gradually or whatever. Oh, that's what Jesus was saying. No? Was he saying that? Judge lest ye be judged? Yeah. Judge lest ye be judged. And he was still murdered at the age of 33, right? Maybe he didn't have a chance to really get cooking. Maybe that was the theology and the mindset of a 33-year-old who got it wrong. What if we're supposed to embrace and like our judgment? I was literally going to do a show, Judge Sheba. I want to be honest with you guys. I am judging you. You guys are all judging me. That's like literally what our brains are designed to do. Not even designed to do, like they literally can't help. Their function is to make judgments, discernments, make kind of differentiations. So I'm supposed to like shame myself for like the thing that like I literally have almost no control over? What if this fear of being perceived as judgmental, as judging, like being someone like, oh, she's so judgmental. Like maybe that was given to us by white men so that we don't judge them. So that we're not like, hey, actually, I'm judging you. You're doing a bad thing. That's wrong. That's not cool. But because we've all been told, no, don't be judgmental. And it's actually a tool to protect you from the white man. And yet, the white men still persist. Maybe we should just explore embracing being judgmental a little bit more. Recognize that we're all actually not only good at being judged, we kind of like seek it out. We crave it. We crave validation, external validation. That is you craving my positive judgment of you. You want it. You want me to like you. You think you will be safer if I like you. And it's not just me. You think you will be safer if more people like you. If you are judged favorably by most people. So we kind of shape our lives around trying to be judged well. And it feels fucking good when you're judged well. I'm framing it as like a praise kink almost. Like I love when someone I like people pleasing. I love when I delight someone. When I've judged like what will speak to them. And I find it and they respond. I'm like, oh, yes. Made a proper judgment. And you've judged me, positively. Like, oh, it's a delicious experience. Asking people to look back at themselves. Yeah. I heard a thing, my girl, I understood. I understood it. she was saying to, in order to like, I don't know, I think like have a better relationship with the idea of judgment is like adding the statement, um, after you make a judgment, just like me, just like I do. So, what did I write? I'm playing with embracing being judgment of myself, my family, my coworkers, and society at large as part of my comedy. And you know what? I know you hoes are gonna love it. Actually, you're gonna love it. I'm actually very good at judging in a way that you don't even realize what's happening. Don't worry. I'm combining all of my strengths. Judging and like putting a positive spin on things, seeing the positive in everything, drawing strength from things we've been told to feel shame about, things we've been told to fear. Very powerful. Yeah, you guys are gonna love it. But because of the shame around being perceived as judgmental, I've written here, a lot of times we couch our judgments in more acceptable and respectable emotions, like concern. Like, oh, I'm not judging, but I'm just concerned about your well-being. If someone's judging your choices or your performance, they're quick to clarify that they are not judging you. They are just, I'm just concerned. What did I also write? Or if we want a different performance out of someone, we'll use, guilt or whatever. You owe me this performance. You owe this person this performance. Anyway, I think we pretend we are not allowed to judge others' performances or have standards for others' performances, for standards for what we, classify as a good performance. But like, we do it all the time. And I posit that being honest about ourselves, even about the things we've been taught to be ashamed of, like being judgmental, is actually the key forward. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we love to judge a performance. Like so many of the shows on like YouTube are like clip shows assessing different performances, different shows and things, and people's performance on the shows and things. And we love to hear other people's judgments on other people, on ourselves, We love that. Um yeah, so my mother, I talk about her a lot. It was recently her birthday. I years ago, a couple years ago, I keep saying years ago, like I'm this old crone. But like, yeah, maybe like a couple years ago. I told my mom, I shared with her, I call her the universe because she gives birth to stars. And also like, so recently we've been like going through a thing because like, I'm not buying her performance. Oh, I know. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. It's because I love her and respect her and I have so much credit for her. I know what she can do. I'm like, Mom, look, I know you can run marathons, even though you're in your 70s. She started marathon running in her 70s. She can travel the world. She found these art classes, these painting classes. She these acting classes. She's like the best actress in this acting group. She's the best like lector in her church, in the church that we, from 5th grade on, we're in this Catholic church. All without having to like hold down a job. Of course, she's retired. And so I'm like, I'm just very like, whoa, Mom, you can do anything. How am I seeing a genocide continue? And if you're like, wow, Sheebs, that's a lot to put on your mother. Hey. Logically, my mom wanted to do many things that people told her kind of were like impossible or too difficult to attain. And yet she figured out how to accomplish them. I know if what was happening to my friend Ibrahim and Asma, their 2-year old Tolene, they're in Gaza. If that was happening to me or Layla and Letty, I bet I would see my mother get a lot more creative about what was in her power to do. So these days my mom is very like, oh, I'm just an old woman. I just want to enjoy my final years in peace and just, oh, what can I do? I can't. And I'm just like, hold up. This is the same woman I grew up with? The woman that taught me the phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the oil? Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a dang minute. Anyway, she's also someone who like, she hates when like someone, when she expresses like pain or frustration in like running a marathon or like when she was training, she just got a hip replacement. So before that, her hip was causing her like a lot of pain and like running was like very painful. And so lots of people were like, well, why don't you slow down? Why don't you like chill? Not run, of course. Like it's causing you pain, stop. What are you doing this for? You don't have to run a marathon. Like you've already done it. Like you don't have to, if it's causing you pain, don't. And she like hated that. She was like, oh, I wish like, everyone like tells me to like, lower my expectations and like, no, I want encouragement to like, oh, do it. I'm like, oh, So I don't know. I show my mother love by being like, girl, I know what you're capable of. I'm sorry. I'm not buying this like feeble old lady who just needs to slow down and just, can't, doesn't wanna, like, girl. What did I put here? I think we do a thing where we like to perform as if we are more like sticking it to the man, like doing our own thing, going our own way, resisting than we really are. I clocked that my mother has spent more energy the past 9 months trying to guilt me and shame me for how I respond to a genocide than she did guilting or shaming Joe Biden or other white people actively committing or supporting a genocide. I've been thinking of this, you know, uh, my family, beautiful women, my family, you know, tried to convince me of they are, they feel for the Palestinians, the Sudanese, the oppressed of the world, and they know like this a lot of bad stuff going on, and they are quietly resisting. My auntie called it passive resistance. And guys, you don't think the empire sees that as like almost indistinguishable from obedience, like complete like compliance and like like I think the empire loves us to resist them in ways that not even your closest relatives could perceive it as resistance. They want us to resist in quiet, appropriate, small ways that don't push you or anyone else out of their comfort zone and enables everyone to go on as normal. Come on. Like, y'all, you really think Harriet Tubman would be like buying it? Do you think Harriet Tubman would buy it? I wish more people would, when they are about to say something, that they're like, how would Harriet Tubman respond? Would she be like, girl, mama, oh, mama, I don't know if you guys could hear that. I used a laugh track. Anyway, yeah, y'all. Okay, another thing. I see us wanting to perform for others that we are like an informed citizen, like an informed adult, that we're adulting correctly. The adults have the appropriate amount of attention on the appropriate things, and we want the glory without the story again. You guys want people to think that you are performing being an informed citizen by saying the right things. That's part of the performance of being an informed citizen. Tuning in for the debates. Informed citizens watch the presidential debates and vote in a democracy. Really? I don't know if that's actually the work of being an informed citizen. Being a journalist, as Billy would say, it just takes a little bit more work than I think we've been taught. That performance, yeah. Anyway, I'm a good judge of performances, so I'm telling you, I'm not buying y'all's informed adult. Okay, we're being an adult. I'm not buying it. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know it. You know these white people are lying to you. You know also these non-white people are lying to you too. You know they're doing it for money, because we've told ourselves that that's like the way. I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay, I wrote this thing about voting. It's a farce. Right, because we saw that Jamal Bowen, you're like, oh, AIPAC paid for, bought the other guy. So if you can buy an election, of course it's fake, guys, right? It's performance. If I can pay for the thing, then it's just to entertain us, because we love a performance. Remember? Anyway, so I think play along if you want, of course, vote, but like, I don't think we could pretend that that is like all we can or must do. I think we can recognize it's a game to distract us. Yeah, what did I write? And if we're serious about creating a world where the worst people are not literally killing us just for profit, we will have to accept that voting is a farce. And do something different. Unless we want to keep doing the performance. Unless we think that'll keep us safe. You guys can do that. Like, we can do that. Sure. We're great at performing. Like, everything's fine. We're better than we like to admit. No, everything's cool. Everything's totally fine. No need to panic. We're really good at that. I don't know. Sometimes I think we might need to panic. I know that I've heard like the voting analogy, like in the two-party system is like, you know, voting is taking the bus to like it's like whoever's gonna get you to your stop or whatever. Something about some bus analogy. I was thinking, I think they're trying to trick us into falsely believing in this false binary. That like whatever is the other option, that we're supposed to like take whichever party is going to get us closer to where we want to go, which I think is what? Liberation, safety, like abundance, community, I don't know, right? Peace. Sure. But I realized, I was like, wait a minute. Actually, I think, okay, so the Republicans, they're driving a bus and they are going to like crash the bus into a cop car, right? We know that. They love a cop. They like love violence. I don't know. Bear with me. While Democrats, they are pretending they're like, oh, all aboard deliberation. Doot, doot. Oh, bloop, 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 bloop. And they like somehow, oh, I keep missing the exit though gosh, I keep missing my ramp. Sorry. Gotta keep us on the oppression highway. Sorry. Oh my gosh. But this is a much better bus ride than the Republicans. Look, they just crashed you right into it. I'm taking the long route. Isn't it weird that we kind of never ever get to the promised land? Do we ever consider that, like, maybe rather than taking a bus that is driven by two almost identical psycho, like, white male octogenarians who are racist and genocidal, like, maybe we should walk. Maybe we should just like walk. Like the exit's like right there. I know it looks far, but you know, I think we are really good at entertaining ourselves, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be an easier trip than we think. We're gonna be there before we know it. As long as we stop getting on the bus of the guys who obviously do not have our best interests at heart. I'm gonna need us to access our ability to judge, our natural instinct to judge, our talent for it. And like being like, hey, actually, wait a minute, hold on. Let me recognize this pattern. Let me discern this. Maybe I should do something different. Let's walk, guys. It's gonna take longer, but together we can go very far. We know these things. Yeah, what did I say? Yeah. Maybe the real answer is to get off the bus and walk the rest of the way. Yes, duh, we've done it. It's gonna take longer, but you're not at the behest of people trying to keep you oppressed. Yes. Yeah, I think we also have this shame of being perceived as performative. Yeah, that's the performance anxiety. Like people being like, "Oh, you're just performing, being, you know, caring. You're just performing empathy." But you don't really care. Or you only care about, yeah, the things that you want other people to think that you care about the right things. You don't want to be perceived as a monster. You want to care about the right amount of things, the right amount. You know what I saw? Actually, today I was thinking about this fear of being performative, and I was looking back into my. I used to keep a little diary in a document, and I searched for the word perform because I wanted to check back and see if I'd written about that story with my therapist where I cried when she was like, "Are you performing being a good therapy client?" I'm like, oh, "Yes, no." Anyway, um, let me show you this thing I screenshotted um, from freaking September 2021. Okay. Um, I think this was we were about to do maybe Jeanette Lenoir, a thing about AOC actually, like at the Met Gala when she wore that Eat the Rich dress, right? Back then, when I was a wee babe, didn't didn't yet know the ways of the world, didn't yet know myself. So how could I know the ways of the world? Um anyway, so I wrote down, I think that if a performance is only done for the sake of a performance and not designed to lead to concrete, practical progress on the issue, it might do more harm than good. I think sit-ins were performative. I think Mamie Till publishing funeral photos in Jet magazine was performative. But they were done with a specific audience in mind, wanting to get a reaction, but it was also like a demand to force material, substantive, like change, like a changed reality, change people's actions. So raising awareness and causing the powerful discomfort alone isn't enough if it isn't associated with the demand and that like forces changes in material conditions. Now, look what I wrote about AOC, I think. It doesn't say that, but I kind of think this is like what I was thinking back then. I don't fault AOC for trying. Man. And it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about, actually. And it's not like she took the rest of the day off. Okay, she stayed up on the engagement with the issue, right? Like on her Instagram or whatever, Twitter. She was like kind of engaging. She was performing, engaging with like the constituents about it. And I was like, okay, I love that. I approve of this performance. So yeah, she stayed up on the engagement on the issue and is keeping that on the table in Congress. Now, fast forward 3 years. Okay, so what did I? Let me continue what I said. She's keeping that on the table in Congress. I guess the eating the rich stuff, the tax stuff. I don't know. Not perfect, but what's interesting? I wrote in 2021, I believe in my powers of persuasion. Wait, it's okay. This is sorry, I'm trying to decipher kind of. It's actually typed, but I'm still trying to. It is not spell or grammar checked, so it is a little disjointed. That people are a little informed and see someone demanding change. Okay. Oh, okay, I got it. I believe in my powers of persuasion, that if people are a little informed and see someone demanding change, they will also do so. They will demand change. I don't know what to do, but I want to use my platform to bring awareness that inspires concrete forward action. Look what Sheba wrote, prophesized back in 2021. Yeah. Anyway. So that was me grappling with the idea of being performative, the shame of being performative, and how that like shows up in us and how we project it onto others. And we're like, oh, that's performative. Oh, you're just performing. Like, okay, yeah, you're right. But you gotta admit we love a performance. We love a performance. Okay. Yeah, so what did I write here? Okay, yeah, so I think also we have this shame around being perceived as performative, while also a lot of us put a very half-ass bare minimum effort into showing that you care enough about people to like improve the conditions. You know, you guys kind of I feel like you got to incorporate it into your life somehow. The performance, you got to embody the performance all the time. I don't know. Anyway, what did I write? This is who I am now, and I have no shame about becoming the person I want to be. Does that make sense? I'm brilliant, so if it made sense to you, you might be brilliant too. That's how humans work. Isn't that so funny? Um, this is something that I receive from a lot of people in general, but also like Black people, certainly in my family. Um, this kind of a feeling like, you know, a performance of like, oh, you know, I got, you know, no beef with white people, you know, I don't need to like say anything to these, you know, like nope, nope. You know, we know white people are gonna do what they're gonna do, and you know, it's got nothing to do with me. You know, who are you performing that for? Me? Babe. You know, I don't believe it. So I'm sorry. Not buying it. I don't believe it. I think you know it's got something to do with you. I think you know you can do something. Hmm. Yeah, I know that because like I feel that, and I feel like I am someone who's very good at expressing what the collective is feeling, even if they're not ready to admit it. I'm on to you hoes. I'm on to you hoes. Okay, so anyway, what did I write? Fulfilling my childhood dream. I am, yes. Okay, so back from when I was at the, you know, toy store, I am fulfilling my childhood dream of being like a safe, abundant source and place and environment, a deus ex machina for people who need it, for beings that need it, kind of Scheherazade for the collective, risking the illusion of my security and safety in order to be vulnerable, try something different, and perform in order to save myself in the collective. Love it. Having so much fun. So, anyway, don't worry. It's okay. I love that you performed for me. I'm honored. Thank you. I'm like honored that you want my assessment. Yeah. So maybe others are honored by your performance too. Yeah. Well, I think that's all I got. See you hoes. Actually, bring your forehead in. Bring it in. Let me not rush. Put your forehead against the screen, okay? Love you. Everything is made up. You're welcome. I hope you benefited from this. I think you did. I know you did. I feel it. All right. I'm about to eat some pasta. So I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Bye.